Welcome to the Boomer Briefing Podcast, your 10-minute insight into the conversations that are shaping the future of the profession. We just wrapped up the Managing Partner Circle. I'm Jim Boomer, CEO, shareholder at Boomer Consulting, and one of the facilitators of the Managing Partner Circle. I'm also joined by Marc Staut, shareholder and Chief Innovation and Technology Officer, but the lead facilitator on Managing Partner. So, Marc, from your perspective, what were some of the most lively and engaging discussions from the meeting?
That is a hard question to answer because it was a really active group this time. We had a lot of people came and they brought a lot of energy. And we had some really good conversations. I think we really kicked it off when we started to get into the metrics. And these are metrics that the firms are using to compare how they're doing against their peers. So we use a bunch of standardized metrics, but it's been really interesting this time because I think that those are evolving as new technologies are starting to come into play. We're seeing that firms need to rethink how they are holding themselves accountable, how they are starting to create success, and how they are looking for what it means to be successful inside the firm. It's not just the same old time-based metrics, and that evolution is really exciting to see and to talk about.
It is, and I think it's interesting. Like, it's obvious. I feel like I'm repeating myself every time we do a recap of our circles, but AI came up, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's going to come up over and over, and that's expected. But with this group especially, I think there's a lot of discussions of beyond just the technology.
Yeah.
And what is the ripple effect of the overall business model, everything from pricing, hiring, how do you do performance reviews and the metrics for success?
Yep.
And so all of those are evolving and look very different, are going to look very different. And I think the leaders of these firms are doing the right thing by starting by shifting their mindset about how they approach this and think about these
100%. Even when we went through our trends, which I'm sure has come up in all the other community briefings afterwards, but when we went through the trends, it was really interesting to be talking about how AI is really a leadership imperative. Not just a technology. It is, of course, a technology, and you have to have that team involved, but it has to be coming from the firm leaders themselves. And sometimes when we have these conversations, it's like, yeah, sure, that's going to be great. This group gets it.
Yeah.
And they were engaged in those conversations, and I feel like they understand their role, their responsibility, and the opportunity that particular trend really drives home for them.
Yeah, and this is a really close-knit group another important session that they do each time that they love is our Managing Partner Exchange. Think show and tell for adults, and so bringing something of value. And so I think that went really well. And then you also led a discussion on the modern client experience and rethinking that. And I don't know, what were your thoughts on how that discussion went?
I love that as a workshop topic. I mean, we spent a good amount of time on that topic, and we kind of kicked it off with the book Unreasonable Hospitality. And you wouldn't necessarily think of the CPA profession is having a lot in common with food service and in trying to get that 5-star client service. But they really resonated. Yeah. And I think a lot of people were like, yeah, this is what we need to be talking about, because our clients aren't looking for the best tax return ever or the best audit ever. That's not what is going to keep them as clients. And we, for years, have been talking about how we had to add value into the conversation. And things are different now. When we look at all of the things that are around us, we use the example of Amazon during the workshop, right? You can have an instantaneous type of experience with Amazon. Oh, I think I might want something. You immediately make a couple of clicks. It can be delivered sometimes the same day or overnight, wherever you are. And that is just an incredible thing, but it also tells you where your client expectations are being reset. It raises the bar. And so how do we raise the bar with our clients? And the things that it came down to wasn't technical acumen. it really came down to making the clients feel seen and special and heard and understood. And that was a fantastic conversation. We got into it about the importance of birthdays, right? Which can be a small thing, and maybe we take it for granted when it happens, but when it's personalized and it's timely and it's delivered in a way that is meaningful for us, that really can resonate. And of course, now we go back to the technology that we need to make that happen and investing in some of those tools like a CRM and an AI and other things.
Yep. Yeah, well, all great discussion, and we in our short time here, we can't cover everything that was covered in a day and a half, but we appreciate you joining us here today, and if we piqued your interest in terms of learning more about Managing Partner Circle, we'd love to talk to you. Just visit boomer.com, and you can fill out an application form or a request for more information, and our team will reach out and we'll have a conversation and see if the Managing Partner Circle is a good fit for you. But again, thank you for joining us for the Boomer Briefing, your 10-minute insight into the future of the profession, and have a great day.